Hey, hey,
Hey, no,
hey,
it's got
what's up?
just as you clicked on play, I mean record, I heard somebody yell hello in the background.
No,
Uh,
wait.
I
yeah,
wonder if that's whatever my wife is watching.
that's probably it. Uh,
Well, hello. Segue into what's up, everybody? We are here with another weekly reject show where we talk our favorite movies. We
yes,
usually now this week, I believe we decided to talk about our favorite video game adaptations.
yes, especially
See,
since I guess it's safe to say that all three of us saw the Super Mario movie this past weekend or
I did
sometime.
not see it. Went and saw Air and Dungeons and Dragons, and they're both
Oh,
very good.
well, actually, yeah, I've heard good things about the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
It's fun.
Yeah,
And you two, I don't know, Nick, or did you play Dungeons and Dragons? I was going to say you guys will probably like it more than I do if you're
I've I
more
played
aware of the game.
I played D20 systems, and I played D&D proper probably about twice, and one of those times is just recently, because my friends from the Houston crew, they all played D&D.
oh, nice.
So yeah, I think it'll be a good deal. Also, I watch. Well, I need to start back on it. So the Legend of Vox Machina. That's actually a really good show.
Nice. Well,
But
I watched Avatar slash Titanic slash Abyss
uh,
two.
Oh, because Avatar The Way of the Water is James Cameron's greatest hits.
Yes, that's what it felt like. Although I really enjoyed it, like I really dug this one more than and I enjoyed the first one. Although it does have issues, I still think it's a fun popcorn movie. But this one I really liked. I really dig all the underwater stuff anyway. So, like, The Abyss is one of my favorite Cameron movies. Or it's up there in probably the top three.
yeah,
Uh,
I like the director's cut of The Abyss.
Same.
The original was kind of meh, but
Yeah,
the
I
things
always
he
I always recommend the director's cut because it just like with that story, like you said, the non-director's cut felt it was exciting, but it felt a little bland compared to the director's cut. Like it
Well,
fleshes it out.
there's
So
it fleshes it out more, and there's like that whole sequence that's like not in the movie with the aliens and stuff. And
right.
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's of all of Cameron's director's cut, that's the only one I'd say that needs to be watched. You don't need to watch the director's cut of Aliens and Terminator 2. They're good,
Right.
but the theatrical cuts are good on their own with but I watch those director's cut as well, but the Abyss director's cut is essential.
Yeah.
Right.
Honestly, I think I like my favorite of Cameron's director's cuts is Aliens because of the better because you get a better sense of backstory, especially with Ripley finding out that she basically missed out on her daughter's entire life because she was in cryostasis
Right.
Mm-hmm.
and getting a second chance with Newt. That's I mean, it's easy to miss a lot of the deeper stuff when you're, paying attention to the gun turrets tearing xenomorphs apart. But it's a really good human story. I always said that the best kind of science fiction um, is the ones that focus more on the human part of the stories than
Yeah.
all the awesome special effects. But I digress. So, who wants to go first? It's like where you're talking favorite video game adaptations.
Well, I'm waiting on Lindsay. She's doing in the middle of something right now, and I know she wanted to talk Mario with me. Uh,
Ah, well,
so
okay.
Which
Yes,
one of you
we.
guys would like to go? And if you haven't already guessed it, guys, I just blurted it.
Yeah,
Uh, I will be talking Mario 93. I know it's not the most popular, especially among the diehard Nintendo fans, but being an alternate, I call it Mario Elseworlds, basically.
yeah, that's fair. Um, and it's of course, back in 1993, we kind of knew that they couldn't do a one-to-one translation of Super Mario Brothers, like the one that we got last weekend, but it has a cult following. It
Right.
Hmm.
uh,
Which one do you guys want to go? Because I told Lindsay I'd wait for her to talk Mario.
Okay, all right. It's like we will table that. I guess I'll go first. Oh, sorry. So my pick for my favorite video game adaptation would be Mortal Kombat from 1996.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a
I
good
mean,
choice.
even even if it wasn't really based on a video game, which is kind of funny because the original video game kind of took its cues from Enter the Dragon.
Yep, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's a trashy version of Enter the Dragon, but the fighters have powers.
Yeah, yeah, and
Do, do,
it's
were
a
your Do you guys remember the controversy around the video game?
yes.
Yeah.
I do because my best friend, and we still talk about it to this day. But his parents' room was on the other side of their kitchen, so we'd sneak up late at night, and he had borrowed this game from a friend at school, and we would stand guard and while one of us played, and if we saw the door open or his mom would come out, we'd pull it and switch over to like Mario Tennis real quick or Super Mario World or F-Zero or whatever else we were playing,
Which is kind of
just so
fun.
we could get a Mortal Kombat fix.
Oh,
But we thought it was so rad because it was so gory and violent, and um, you could rip heads off and stuff like that. And
dude, yeah, of course it was so awesome. Like we were 13 year olds, like live for that shit.
yeah,
um, actually, so you're a little bit younger than I was. I was
I
there
was,
for the arcades, and I
yeah,
remember how the original Mortal Kombat was getting um, um, say a home port, and we heard about how the Super Nintendo version wasn't. They were gonna have the blood. They were gonna have different fatalities uh, because they wanted parents groups, and Sega said, f all that, and they say, well, they had the neutered version, but they also had a code where you could um, actually activate the blood and fatalities. I looked it up. It says ABACABB. It says the text, when done correctly, the text will turn yellow, and you'll see your scorpion say, "Get over here."
nice.
Yeah.
And it also says "Ready for combat," with, of course, with a K,
Yeah.
because poor literacy is cool.
Now I was 13. I was 13 when this movie came out. So when the
Yeah,
movie came in, I was
I
like,
actually got the year wrong. It came out in '95, and I thought it was
Yep.
'96.
oh, okay,
I just remember I was a sophomore in high school when this was out.
This was a
I remember that song being all over the radio. Like it was everywhere, and that's
Oh,
what got me to like.
I had the soundtrack. We were actually talking about movie soundtracks before we started broadcasting, and the Mortal Kombat soundtrack, it slaps.
yes. Yeah.
Like You got groups KFDFM, I think is the. Yeah.
Well, this was a sleepover movie for me. Like, this is one we would put on like a lot. It's like in the mix with like movies like because this is part of those what preteen boys want to watch is ultra violence.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, here are the. It's like it's kind of like a who's who of techno. Gravity Kills, KMFDM, Immortals, and GZR. This was and like all the songs in there were like really good. I would have it on my portable CD player on repeat. It kind of also made me realize how much I really did like techno.
Yeah, that probably introduced me to techno, to be honest. Like,
For sure.
I was like, what is this? This is weird and cool at the same time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, not cool that Christopher Lambert, the Highlander, plays Raiden, but
Yeah.
Well, didn't they correct that in the second film?
no,
Oh,
they
yeah.
corrected that in the reboot they just did. The second film, it was James Remar. It was still a white guy.
Yeah.
I thought. Never mind. I may be thinking of a different character than. Yeah, I am. My bad.
But yeah, it was, and even without the basis on a video game, you are treated to. It's like there are fight scenes in this movie every 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty decent action for being a 1995 film. And honestly, the only thing I kind of the only big name on that movie was Christopher Lambert.
Well, the guy that played the villain has been in a lot of stuff.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
And the actress who played Sonya Blade is married to tennis player Pete Sampras, and she was also in, I think, Last Action Hero, and Billy Madison.
Yeah. Oh, Kari Hiroki Tagawa. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, he was in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yep, he's in License to Kill. He's in Rising Sun.
Yep, Eddie Sakamura.
He's in The Phantom.
Danger Zone. Oh, and Mortal Kombat and archive footage. So hopefully they did the same thing with Michael Biehn and paid him the same amount for what amounts to a cameo in Alien 3.
Vampires, and then of course he's in Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes. He plays Helena Bonham Carter's, I don't know if he's like her bodyguard or her right hand man or ever. He's the one that has the fight with Michael Clark Duncan in the movie.
Oh, he played Heihachi in live action Tekken movie.
There you go. Another video game that's kind of like Enter the Dragon.
Yeah, and he's got two he's got two projects coming up this year. One of them is a Ronald Reagan biopic.
Okay.
Yeah. Dennis Quaid as Ronald Reagan. Oh my God.
Oh man, this is gonna be. Dennis Quaid has gone full on pure flicks these days.
Oh God.
Yeah. Still less crazy than his brother, though.
Yeah.
Well,
I hear his son though is a very nice man.
You know, I will believe it. So, but really, that's all. When it comes to going back to Mortal Kombat with those kinds of action scenes, I mean, who could ask for more? Well, except for actual blood and gore, but
Well,
uh, they kind. I would say they had to keep it PG-13, but they came out with an R-rated Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and
Uh,
it was successful.
yeah,
124 million worldwide box office.
yeah. The one it came out 2 years ago. I still need to. Oh, it's on Tubi, so
It's not as good as the 95 version. I think it's more faithful to the video game and the lore, but it's not as fun as the 95 movie.
well, I'll have to check it out anyway. I know they also made a animated movie for Mortal Kombat. Also, that actually reminds me of another thing. Going on that, you know, video. It's like movie-based cartoons, but this is like a cartoon based on a movie based on a video game.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat: Defenders of the Realm, like basically takes place after the second movie, and they just fight. It's like all the Shaolin people fight Shang Tsung's warriors. I barely remember it.
I
Right.
feel like there was an animated series too.
That was the animated series.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but let me see. Let's see who was in that. It's like Chris, did you what? Mm, excuse me. What more do you have to say about this movie? Because I feel like we're about to wrap this up.
I think it's great. Um, I honestly think you could compare the two, like the 93. Okay, they're a product of their time. And I like the nostalgia of it. I think it was a fun movie for its time when it came out. I think it still holds up as just being just a cool flick, and
Yeah.
a good adaptation. But like I said, it's a product of its time. I mean, you
Also,
either like it or you don't.
also there's um, um, they actually do use their special moves. So at least there's that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you get to see Scorpion do the come over here, and you see Sub-Zero free stuff, and
Yeah.
uh,
And Johnny Cage does his nut punch on Goro.
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, and your soul is mine.
Yeah.
And I will say, out of the console fighters, it was better. It was better done than Street Fighter.
What? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Though it can't quite reach up to Raul Julia's ham-fisted acting, because Raul Julia was having fun doing that movie.
Well, that he was dying of cancer during
Yeah.
that movie, and the reason why he
Yeah.
took off the role is because his kids were fans of the video game, and
Yeah.
I think he also knew that was probably going to be his last thing. So he was like, "I'm going to do this for my kids,"
Yeah.
So
Which kind of goes is a testament to what kind of person Raul Julia was.
there is a documentary on him that is very awesome, and I highly recommend it. I think it's just called Raul.
Oh, dude, I'm looking at the cast list for the animated series, Defenders of the Realm. Luke Perry's played Sub-Zero.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah. Ron Perlman was Curtis Stryker.
I guess Rob Perlman just did all the animated series back then.
Yeah, and Brian Tochi was Liu Kang.
Nice.
Yeah, so I remember he was on. He was also Leonardo. He was the voice of Leonardo in the first Ninja Turtles movies. But yeah, it's like this was when I think Mortal Kombat as a franchise was kind of lightning in a bottle territory there, because it was one of the first big games that had digitized actors, because a lot of the original people from the game were stuntmen, well, stunt people, like they all worked on the stunt industry.
Oh yeah.
The original actor for Liu Kang, not Robin Shu, but Ho Sung Pak, uh, he was he was a stunt coordinator for the Ninja Turtles movies.
Oh, that's cool. That is
Oh.
one thing I
And
forgot to bring up was the fact that they were digitized and like actual actors and not um digitally created. So you had actors going into this game, which is really cool.
yeah,
And that early on, because I mean, you have actors in games now where they do motion tracking and motion capture and stuff like that. So it's common now. So they're more like movies, but back then it was really cool to see the you know, stuff going on and being able to make someone like that fight and jump and rip
hmm
someone off and
yeah, and again, the violence was just so over the top that, I mean, it was almost cartoonish. Like
right.
it wasn't graphic like it was in RoboCop, but but it was still pretty nasty.
Well, no one got shot in the dick in
Nope.
Nope, nope,
in
just punched in the dick.
yeah, just punch the dick.
But yeah, that as far as enjoyment and accuracy to the original games, yeah, Mortal Kombat is definitely uh, one of my top picks, especially with the. I mean, even when you just see the New Line Cinema logo and you just hear yell "Mortal Kombat," you know what you're getting into.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I still get chills when I see that.
Yeah. That's all right. So I guess well, that's really all I got to say. And anything more before we move on?
It rules. Is it good? Probably not, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, movies do not need to be, you know, outstanding to be a lot of fun. I mean, Kung Fury. That is a movie that did not take itself seriously at all,
Uh, yeah, I remember
and
that.
and the movie was all the better for it. And another movie, which we'll get to in just a second, but let's move on. Cody, what's your pick?
I'm gonna go with a more recent movie because it does tend like they're getting better made films with adapting video games. And I actually didn't know this movie was a video game till someone told me. And it's a little movie called Werewolves Within. It's apparently a VR game
Oh wow.
that's like a murder mystery. So basically, this movie is a comedy horror movie, and it's a group of people in a small, snowy winter town, and there's a werewolf. So it's basically Knives Out with werewolves, if directed by Edgar Wright. But it's not directed by Edgar Wright, but it has that energy
I
of an Edgar
remember
Wright movie.
that.
Actually,
I was
looking
like,
at this,
that looks
I
really good.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the footage of the game, and I was thinking more like, have you ever played Are You a Werewolf?
I have not.
No,
Basically, I, it's like, have you played Mafia?
Mafia, yes.
Yes.
Yes. If Are You a Werewolf is basically Mafia, but with werewolves.
So yeah, it's kind of what it's based about. Like you're trying to figure out who the werewolf is.
Yeah, and I always kind of said this, but the Red Riding Hood movie with Amanda Seyfried, that is the
Mm-hmm.
horniest game of Are You a Werewolf ever. But I
But
digress. So tell us a little bit more about this movie.
Sam Richardson's the main character. You guys would probably know him. He's a comedic actor. He's been on a lot of TV shows and movies. Usually plays a super, super nice guy. And he's a park ranger that gets basically sent to this wintry town. And a bunch of murders. A murder happens, the power goes out, all the townspeople are stuck in this, like, bed and breakfast, and there's like a pipeline guy trying to bring in a pipeline, and half the town wants the money that it's going to generate. The other half are like, you're going to destroy the beautiful landscape and forestry in our town. And comedy ensues as well as horror. It's got, I don't know how to say the actress's name. She's got a Russian name. You'll most recognize her as the AT&T girl in the AT&T commercials.
Milana Weintraub.
Yes. She was also supposed to play Squirrel Girl in a TV series adaptation. It didn't happen, which she ended up voicing her in a podcast where Squirrel Girl is a radio DJ / superhero.
Yeah. Oh.
And then it's got the guy that plays Guillermo on What We Do in the Shadows TV show.
I haven't seen that yet. I actually have What We Do in the Shadow. I think I have I have the pilot on my computer, and I have the movie on DVD.
Oh, they're both great. I highly recommend both of them. But yeah, this movie is a lot of fun. Like I said, it's like Knives Out with a werewolf if it was directed by Edgar Wright, but it's not directed by him. But it's got that energy. It's got a lot of like the Shaun of the Dead, Scott Pilgrim energy to the camera.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the stuff in it right now, and it seems interesting. I'll have to see if I can. Like, I see that it's available on Apple TV, but I want to see if I can find it, elsewhere. Which is also kind of funny because apparently the original video game was rated E for everyone.
Yeah, that's strange.
The movie is rated R.
Yeah, adaptation. You can.
Yeah. I guess it's probably because they could, up the gore.
For sure, and it sounds like, just from what I've read, they just took the general premise of what the game is and then created a plot of their own within the... What'd you say, Chris?
It's a VR game?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to see if I can find that.
So the game is set in a medieval fantasy town.
Yeah.
So they definitely modernized it for the movie. And yeah, it says Mafia style format.
So nice. Yeah, this is basically a video game of Are You a Werewolf?
But yeah, if you like Edgar Wright movies, if you like Knives Out, if you like American Werewolf in London, I would recommend this movie.
I do like all those things.
I really love werewolf movies. I kind of like the werewolf genre over the vampire genre. Like the vampires, I like vampires. I like a good vampire story, but it's been played out, in my opinion. Like I like a good werewolf.
I don't know, Vampires have always been my favorite movie monsters. I am very much looking forward to Renfield.
Ooh,
Oh
hey,
man, just Nicolas Cage as Dracula alone.
Yeah,
the
like
Demeter.
actually, I wouldn't be surprised going into that movie somebody yelled out, "I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire! I'm a vampire!"
Is that from the Vampire's Kiss where he thinks he's a vampire?
Yes,
I
Yeah,
I have you seen the new trailer for the Demeter?
I have not.
I haven't either.
It looks great. It's basically the Demeter is the ship that transported Dracula's coffin, and when it came ashore, everybody was gone. So it's the story of that voyage, what happened in between, and
Oh,
it has a Bram Stoker's Dracula vibe to it. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. It looks really cool.
I as far yeah, werewolves aren't necessarily my favorite movie monsters, but a they can be a good movie monster. Like I remember seeing that one. Um,
Benicio
uh,
del Toro did.
yeah, the Wolfman. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's a decent retelling of the Wolfman story.
Yeah. Um, and the werewolf from the Monster Squad.
He's got nards.
Uh-huh. And
I think besides American Werewolf in London, my second favorite werewolf movie has to be Joe Dante's The Howling.
I remember my mom rented that years and years ago, but I don't think the tape worked, and she had to take it back early. So I've never really seen any of the Howling movies.
Well, I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen any of the subsequent sequels. I know Christopher Lee pops up in one of the sequels.
Because of course.
A Silver Bullet's solid, yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. And that the kid with the motor, like not just a motorized wheelchair, but a gas powered, um, 6-cylinder wheelchair.
And Gary Busey playing the role he was born for, drunk uncle.
Oh God.
Gary. He's the one that gives the kid the motor, you're
Mm-hmm.
a kid, this thing will go 80 miles an hour. Just hook it to your wheelchair.
And but yeah, I'll give this movie a shot if I ever get a chance to see it.
It's worth it. It's a lot of fun.
All right, Chris, has Lindsay made it in yet?
No, we may have to go ahead and go on, and she can come in if she can make it. But yeah, I decided, because I know it's like it gets a lot of flack, okay. And I was a fan of the cartoon, the Super Mario Brothers show.
I remember that cartoon.
Oh, there are episodes actually uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah, and they're super clean. They're like super clean, like HD episodes. And they also the whole entire first season of Zelda as well on there.
Oh yeah.
We've been watching those. Me and the kids. We watch those at night before bedtime. But yeah, man, I used to love the Super Mario show. My best friend that I told you about earlier, sneaking and playing the Mortal Kombat game. We were also both big Super Mario fans, and I had my grandparents had gifted my brother and I these Skoonkin hats, these raccoon skin hats. Don't ask me why, but I didn't know. They sat in the bottom of my closet. But he came over one day, and I remember using them for the tails and flying around, because we always, like, he was Mario and I was Luigi, or vice versa. So anyway, big fans, and I remember this movie coming out, and I'm not gonna lie, like I was perplexed at first as a kid. I was like, this is really weird. Like even as a kid, like now, don't get me wrong, like I found it fun and like, but I don't know. I was like, wow, this isn't like the show that I'm used to, because I was used to Captain Lou Albano and I cannot remember the gentleman's name who played Luigi, but
Danny,
he was
Danny,
perfect.
God, Danny Wells, that's his name.
Danny Wells.
Yeah,
And
both of whom are no longer with us.
right. And so yeah, it was really odd to me even back then. But over time, I think I grew to really like this movie because of how different it was and how bonkers this movie is and how over the mark that they missed. I mean, they totally flew over the mark with this movie. Now, there are elements, and I like to call this like a Twilight Zone or an Elseworlds Mario, like, but I mean, I kind of like it, man. I still dig this movie. I think it's fun. I love John Leguizamo as an actor.
Yeah.
Yes.
John Leguizamo was definitely one of the best parts about that movie, and I remember when this movie came out. I missed it in the theater, but I saw it on cable, and I thought, yeah, they definitely had some creative freedom choices with this movie, but in and of itself, it's not terrible. But then I remember, then I saw I'm not sure if I could call it a documentary, but this special talking about what a clusterfuck making that movie was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went through 10 different screenwriters. And I forget how many directors before they settled on the creators of Max Headroom.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure one of the scripts that was in development had it as like a Die Hard-esque plot with the Mario Brothers involved and like a Blade Runner-esque city.
Oh, I kind of wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah.
But apparently the directors were so tyrannical, and it was such a terrible experience for everyone involved, cast and crew alike, that it pretty much killed their careers.
Yep. I mean, the movie was a huge flop and was not received well by, I guess, the people who went and watched it at the time.
Yeah, and I know...
I could see, because even I was like, what the hell is this?
I know John Leguizamo uses that in some of his stand-up shows.
Well, he's boycotting the new movie, which I think is silly. I mean,
why is he boycotting the new movie?
Something about the lack of Latino representation or something.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay, there's a point. I mean, the only person of color I can think of is Kevin Michael Richardson.
Well, isn't Keegan Michael Key the voice of Toad?
Keegan Key. Yeah, I forgot.
I think it's more of a dig at casting Chris Pratt as the voice.
Oh, and Fred Armisen apparently is in it too.
Yeah. And I which is funny because I've seen episodes of Portlandia, and that is funny as shit. Apparently, Fred Aniston is
My
really good
all-time.
really good comic actor. I don't know about his music chops because I know he was a drummer for a band.
He's a decent drummer.
Yeah,
If you have
and
not seen the Battlestar Galactica skit, you have to see it from their show, Portlandia. It is my all-time favorite, and it is the truth.
yeah, and of course Carrie Brownstein. But I digress. Um, yeah, the and it's obvious John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. Uh, um, they did the best they could with what they had,
Yeah,
and
I,
it
I,
just
I heard that Bob Hoskins didn't like to talk about it afterward.
no, not a lot of people did.
Yeah,
I mean, there was that interview with Dennis Hopper saying, because he was talking to his kid about it. He says, I was like, why'd you take that movie? He says, because, we need the money. So he's like, we got to make money. He's like, you needed some shoes. He says, I didn't need shoes that badly. Uh, but then again, there's that one interview with Michael Caine after Jaws: The Revenge. It says, "I never saw the movie, but I did see the house it got me."
yeah.
Yep.
Or no, he bought his mom or something like that.
Yeah. So, but also from what I've heard, John Leguizamo and Samantha Mathis, who played Daisy, um, like they actually dated for a little bit after,
Oh wow.
um, yeah, after the um, they dated after making the movie, and from what I understand, they're still friends to this day.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So at least there were a few good things that um, came from that movie, and also um, I probably mentioned it once or twice to you, Chris, but you know how they kind of sort of ended the movie on a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
So there is a web comic.
Oh
the
my God.
the artist got in touch with one of the writers of the script, and they wrote a movie sequel. Well, not they wrote a webcomic sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Wow. I have to see that.
Yeah, they have their own versions of Shy Guys.
That's great. Yeah, that's awesome. Like I knew like th- even back then I was like, okay, there's no way we're getting a sequel out of this. It's not like the Ninja Turtles. This is not gonna do good. But over the years I've been curious, like what direction would they have gone? Would we have seen more Yoshi? Like would they have been like leaning more into the lore of Mario or building on their own? But yeah, I have to check that out.
Yeah, it's actually worth. Let me see if I can find. It might not still be up. So yeah, Super Mario Brothers. Oh, yeah, it's listed in. Well, there's a Reddit post. It's a webcomic sequel to the '93 Mario Brothers movie. And no. Oh, smbthecomic.com.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely be checking that out.
See, All right, here you go. I'm posting the link right now.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate that, Nick.
Yeah. Uh, Dang,
Oh shit.
I'm trying to say I'm trying to stall, see if Lindsay could, if there's a chance Lindsay could join us, because I definitely want to hear her thoughts on it.
Yeah, hang on. Give me like 2 seconds. Hang on.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk. While we're doing that, let's talk some honorable mentions. What are some other good? Well, if not good, then at least enjoyable video game movies
And
that
we're
we've seen.
strictly sticking to ones that are based off video games, right? Not movies that are like with a video game aesthetic but aren't really based off video games.
Movies based on video games.
Uh, I really enjoy Detective Pikachu. I think it's a pretty fun movie, and this is coming from someone who's not even a Pokemon fan, but I enjoyed the film. It's kind of like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit type of style of movie,
Yeah,
and
it was better than I was expecting,
same.
and uh, also Pokemon the first movie. I know it's more of the anime than the actual video game, but uh, the Pokemon movies and the TV show, those were, they weren't masterpieces, but they were enjoyable in and of themselves. Except for that CGI remake. I don't know if you noted this, but they did a CGI remake of Pokemon the first movie.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it was fine, but kind of pointless. Like they didn't change anything except the animation style.
So it's basically the same movie. They just did it as CGI instead of
Exactly.
handheld animation, hand drawn.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's see. Let me think of some. Actually, I have not seen this, but I want to see the Resident Evil movies. I've never
Yeah,
I've never played the games, but the movies at least look like a lot of fun.
I've only seen the first one, and it's fine. It's from the same director as the Mortal Kombat movie, but I know there's a huge fan base for that franchise.
Well, yeah, because Mila Jovovich is hot.
Yeah. Are we talking
And
honorable mentions?
They're
though I wanna visit the alternate reality where they got George Romero to direct an adaptation of Resident Evil.
Yeah, that would have been wicked.
yeah.
Well, Lindsay apologizes. She is not feeling very well right now, so she is going to have to pass.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's not feeling too well today. So, but
Oh, that's too bad. But well, while you were gone, we were talking some honorable mentions. What are some uh, movies based on video games? Other movies that you based on video games that you enjoyed?
let's see. I not necessarily enjoyed, but for the nostalgia value, there's Tomb Raider. Uncharted got a movie here, which I have not seen. Uh, let's see. Man, I
The
want
new Tomb Raider is actually pretty decent, Chris. The more recent version.
to. Is it? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just check that out. Because I wasn't a big fan of the. I remember playing the first game when it came out on PC, but other than that, I wasn't a big just fan. I was like, okay, this is cool, but Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones, but a hot woman.
Yeah, I mean,
What if Indiana Jones had boobies?
we,
Don't
uh,
now I'm thinking of Harrison Ford with like jiggle physics.
But that is a franchise and a movie that they've had that Hollywood has been trying to replicate and they never quite done it as well. There's been a few knockoffs that are decent, but nothing as good.
I will tell you a series that I absolutely loved on PC, and I loved it. And when the movie came out, I was disappointed, and that was Wing Commander.
Oh, with Mark Hamill, right?
Yes, but
Is
the way
Mark Hamill in that?
Yeah.
he was in the series, and I believe he was in the movie.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. He's the voice of Merlin.
But they were expecting that to take off and be a huge franchise, and it bombed. It was the same quality as like it felt like oh man, uh Troopers,
Starship Troopers.
Ship Troopers. Yeah,
Yeah, well, it didn't have Paul Verhoeven's direction or the screenwriter's knack for satire. Because if what I understand from the actual novel Starship Troopers, it takes the fascist stuff a little more too seriously, and they're like, "No, we're gonna make fun of this bull crap and do a
Yeah,
satire."
he also Verhoeven got the screenwriters for RoboCop on
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Would you like to know more?
yes, I would. But um, see, I'm trying to think of some. The only thing I can really, it's like I'm trying to think of good video game adaptations, but the main thing that I can think of are just cartoons and TV shows. Like, I mean, does anybody remember the Donkey Kong cartoon? Like from
No.
Saturday Supercade, Mario and
yeah,
Pauline are
man.
chasing him around in a van.
No.
Okay.
Now I
Or
don't know if you could I don't know if you could technically call this. It is a video game movie, but not an adaptation per
mhm.
se. But Pixels was pretty fun with Adam Sandler.
See, I've heard the opposite. Like
It's not a good movie, but my kids love it because it's Pac-Man and like these classic arcade games.
Okay. Can you answer something for me that's a spoiler? I haven't seen it, but I'm just curious because I've heard about it and it seems ridiculous. Does Josh Gad have relations with Qbert?
You know, I don't remember that part, and it's been a while since I've seen it like maybe once, and then just bits and pieces, like when my oldest son watches it because he's in that age where Adam Sandler's immaturity really connects, I guess, and
yeah.
Yeah.
uh, so he enjoys it, But I've only seen, I don't remember that part, but I'll have to see. I'll have to go back and.
What's like Qbert like takes the form of a woman or something? I don't know.
Yeah, it was some um, woman from a Golden Axe ripoff.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
if you guys haven't watched it yet, I highly recommend Last of Us. That was a really good TV show.
Yeah.
I've been hearing a lot of good movies, a lot of good things about it.
Well, it's Pedro Pascal protecting a child, so apparently he's good at that.
Yeah. Like Pedro Pascal's kind of a
So
um,
speaking of Pedro
eh,
Pascal, if y'all haven't seen the unbearable weight
Oh my god, he's hilarious in that.
of talent, yes, dude, I highly.
Yes.
We watched it for the first time here like a week or two ago, and it was hilarious, man.
see with
Yeah.
I was thinking he was probably one of the better things about Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, he's one of the only good things about Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah, I mean, playing Max Lord, you wouldn't think that would be a pain in the neck.
Hmm.
Nobody
All
got that. Yeah. Oh, Cody got that.
right.
I mean, that role should be a snap.
Oh.
Those are for you, G. It's funny because Wonder Woman snaps Lex Lord's neck in the comics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
guys,
huh?
I think we covered some pretty decent adaptations and gave out some honorable shout outs. So,
Oh,
uh,
another honorable mention shout out. This is another animated one. Sonic the Hedgehog, the Saturday morning version.
Oh yeah.
That
yes.
was, I mean, they had a weekday afternoon version that was more like a Roadrunner cartoon, but the Saturday morning version was, you
Hey,
know, it dealt with some pretty heavy themes too.
hey, you know what? I have not always, I've never been a Pokemon fan, but Detective Pikachu is really well done.
Yeah, yeah, we were
Yes.
just talking about that, and
I
I
guess,
was,
man, that I was like, okay, I don't know what to expect with this because I know nothing about Pokemon. I'm not, I like by the time the Pokemon caught on, it just wasn't. I was probably really into Star Wars or something like that because it just
Well, we
it
were
never.
teenagers, so we were kind of like not really the target audience, even though I think there were people our age who liked Pokemon, but I think we were just too old by that point.
yeah, I actually got in. Well, I was getting into Pokemon because I was getting into anime.
Right.
Yeah,
Fair.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's and nothing again, like nothing
Yeah.
wrong with it at all because I saw Detective Pikachu and I was like, wow, that was really awesome. Like really well done. Like that made me a I guess it made me a fan of Pokemon. I mean, I haven't really pursued it. I don't play it, but I
oh, G
really
plays
enjoy it.
Pokemon Go anytime we go out and do any walking.
Nice.
Yeah, I did that for a little while after I watched Detective Pikachu.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
the
fun.
the yeah the initial joke was, oh, the Pokemon Company uses a game to get kids to go outside. It's super effective.
Uh,
Yeah, but I know there were like things like please pay attention to where you're walking when you're playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
But like I know a
yeah,
guy who lost a lot of weight playing Pokemon Go.
that's good though.
well, yeah.
Yeah. Like so.
Well, so what do we want to cover next week, guys? Do we want to hit our horror, our
Yeah, that's what I was
Halloween?
gonna say because the new one's coming out next weekend, Evil Dead Rise, and
Yes,
Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness won our poll for what horror movie we should cover this month. So I figure that's what we should talk about next week.
yes, Halloween in April, guys. We're gonna get spooky. Um,
Halfway there.
I'm just yes, we are halfway there, guys. Because I got to where I just really I miss Halloween, guys. It's my favorite. It kicks off the holidays for me. I'm not a big summer person because I don't, I'm a bigger guy and I sweat a lot and I don't like it. I prefer
Yeah.
cooler weather. And I was like, you know what? We need to keep. Let's have a countdown. Let's do a Halloween in whatever month we're in because you know we can make Halloween year round. Let's enjoy
Uh,
some horror movies.
Indeed. All right. I've seen Army of Darkness, but I haven't seen either of the first two Evil Dead movies. So
Well, you don't have to see the first one to watch Evil Dead 2 because it's kind of a loose remake of the
Right.
original.
so I've been told.
Well,
It's very similar to El Mariachi and Desperado in that sense, where it's kind of a sequel, but not really.
right,
Yeah.
but still good.
So, yeah. Evil Dead, all three rule, but Evil Dead 2 is my personal favorite of the three.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Well,
Well,
I'm looking
yeah.
forward to that one.
And Cody, you have anything coming up with your director series this weekend?
Maybe, but that might be postponed because I do have a guest that's interested, but they haven't got back to me on availability. So what about Bob? Maybe postponed for a later date.
All right. Well,
All right.
cool.
Keep us posted.
Yeah,
Will
we'll get
do.
the page, and everyone have a good week. If you chimed in, thanks for joining us, and we will see you either over the weekend or next Wednesday or Thursday.
Yep. And I
Yeah.
should have turned on the light before uh, doing this because the sun has. I've been using natural light, and now the sun has pretty much gone down.
Yeah, it's dark outside now.
Yeah. But
You're just getting the mood set for next week, Nick. Just don't open any flesh covered books that are written in dead languages.
Yeah, it's full on Halloween next week, man.
I'll
We're gonna fast forward.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right,
All
guys.
right. Take it
Have a good
easy. I'm gonna catch up on sleep now.
night.
Sounds
All
good.
right, man.
Get some rest.
All
Bye.
right. Bye bye.